Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone in today's class for the first intermediate grade. Our textbook is Super Goal 1, and today we will cover what day is today grammar. This lesson will be presented by me, teacher Mazana Harbi, and the sign language by Mr. Fawaz Al-Agil. So let's begin. Our objectives in today's lesson, we hope that at the end of this lesson, you will be able to use plural possessive adjectives and also make questions using what, when, and how, and also use in or on with dates. Before we do this, let's make a quick revision on our last lesson. Last lesson, we talked about three different things. First, we talked about days of the week, and we said that it's very important that we memorize these days in that or in this order. So we start with Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And about the months of the year, we said that we have 12 months of the year, and we need to memorize them also in the same order. So we start with January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So these we talked about the days of the week, we talked about months of the year, and also we talked about how can we make question. If we want, for example, to talk about days, we would use what day is today. And if you want to make question about month, we would say what month is it. We also learn how to answer each one by starting by the word it's. We can say it's Monday, or it's September, it's Friday, it's January, and so on. And also we talked about numbers and also the difference between the cardinal numbers, as we can see here, the cardinal numbers, and also the ordinal numbers. We said that the cardinal numbers, that the kind of number we use to count, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we use the ordinal numbers that show the order of things. For example, the first, the second, the third, the fourth, and so on. So it's very important that we differentiate between these two types of numbers. So here I would like you to open your books on page 12. I would like you please to open your books on page 12. So on page 12, we're going to learn more about the question words. What, when, and how old. And we're going to know the function of each one. So when can we use what, and when can we use when, and how old. So let's start first with what. So we use what to find information about specific days, dates, and times. So if you want to ask about a day, or if you want to ask about a month or a certain date, we would use what. So for example, what is the date tomorrow? What is the date tomorrow? So if you want to ask about date, we're going to use what. So here we have the simple answer. It's January the 20th. The 20th here means the 20th day of the month January. The 20th day of the month January. And either we use it's, which is a short form of it is, or we can use the full form. It is January 20th. Also, another question, what day is your visit to the museum? So the first one here, we asked about dates, and the second one, we ask about time. So what day is your visit to the museum? Our visit is on Thursday. Our visit is on Thursday. So here also we ask about the time of the visit, the time of the visit. So whether we want to ask about days, like what day is today, or if you want to ask about dates, for example, what is the date tomorrow, or if you want to ask about a certain time, like for example, what day is your visit, the time of the visit to the museum. All of these cases we use what. We use what with the questions. Now the other question word we have, which is when. So we use when to find general or specific information about days, weeks, months, and season. So here when is more specific. It's not general to talk about a different time or different dates. No, here is more specific. It's either about days, months, years, and season. For example, when is your vacation? When is your vacation? So the answer must be either one of these. So it's either a day or a week or a month or a season. So he would say, when is your vacation? Our vacation is in May. Our vacation is in May. So here we use one and when, and we answer with mentioning the month, in May. Another question, when are their football matches? When are their football matches? Their matches are in the winter. So this is a season. Their matches are in the winter. So if you want specific information, as we said, either about day or a week or a month or a season, like the summer season, the spring season, the fall season, or here the winter, we use the question or we use when we want to make a question about these specific times. And also, how old? As we have learned from our last lesson, we use how old to ask about the age of a person or an object, any object. For example, how old are you? How old are you? And you can answer by saying, I am 15, I am 7, I am 20. And this is about people. What about an object? Let's see the other example. How old is the building? For example, you have a building in front of you. You can ask about the building's age with the same question word that you use on people. So you can say, how old is the building? And the answer would be, it's 150 years old. It's 150 years old. So this is how can we ask about the age of either a person or an object. So 3 important question words that we use here. We use what to talk. We use what to talk about days, dates, and times, and we use when to talk about weeks, months, days, and season. Very specific. And we use how old to talk about the age. To talk about the age either for a person or for an object. The other part we have in our grammar today is using the prepositions. Is using the preposition in and on, but not in for example, a movement or a place. No, we use how can we use in and on with dates, with times. So here we use different preposition if you want to talk about months and season compared to days. So in, we always use it with months, season, and years. So for example, we say in January, in 2020, in the winter. So we use in only for months, season, and years. Also, we use on with dates or days. For example, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. So we use N for months in January and September, and we use on for days, on Friday, on Sunday, on Monday. And also we use on again to talk about things that you do regularly every month or a week. So this is the first part. The second part is that we use what also to ask question about times and days, as we said, and we use when for months and seasons. For example, what day do you play football? What day do you play football? And as we said, if you want to talk about days, you need to use the preposition on, as we see here. It is on Mondays, on Mondays. And if you notice here, we have S added to the day Monday. What does it mean? It means that every Monday. It means that every Mondays. So we use on with days. The second question, what day is your final test? What day is your final test? Well, our final test is on September 21st. On September 21st. So here we use on, not for the month September, we use it for the date or the day, on September 21st. The third one, when is your final test? When is your final test? Our final test is in September, is in September. So here we use in for months. When do they have English classes? When do they have English classes? Well, their English classes are on Monday and Wednesday. On Monday and Wednesday. And finally, when is our vacation? Our vacation is in the winter. Our vacation is in the winter. So here we use in, as we said, for season. We use in for months, but we use on for days, as we can see here, and we use on for a specific date. A specific date. Now, after we explain all of these, rules, let's try to do a couple of exercises about it. So the first exercise we have, which is complete the sentences, use number words. So here we need to use number words, as we said, or what we call the ordinal numbers, like first, second, third, and so on. For example, when we talk about December, okay, what is the order of December among the months of the year? It is the 12th month of the year. So here we need to test our knowledge of the order of each month, and we need to use the exact number. So let's begin with the first one, January. So, and when we have a look at the months of the year, where does January came? Is it the first one, the second one, the third one? What do you think about January? January is the first month of the year. January is the first month of the year. Number two, July. July is the 7th month of the year. The 7th month of the year. Number three, September. September is the 9th month of the year. The 9th month of the year. And number four, March. March is the 3rd month of the year. The 3rd month of the year. And number five, August. August is the 8th month of the year. The 8th month of the year. And number 6, May. May is the 5th month of the year. So when you have a look at the months of the year, and when you read the order of each month, you can compare your answers with it. It's very important that, as we said, to know the order for the months of the year. Now, let's move on to the second exercise. Here, write the dates in full. So you can see here we have the dates in numbers, and what we need to do, we're going to write them in words. So it's very important that we learn how can we, when we write it in words, which comes first. So here we have a very important note that says the month comes first. So when you want to talk, or we want to use to talk about a certain date, and you have the month and you have the day, which comes first? In English, it's very important that you know that month comes first. So for example, here we have number 1 and 22. Number 1 here means the month, which is January, and 22 is the day. So January 22nd. So let's try to answer the rest. Number 1, 4 and 13. What does it mean? What is the 4th month of the year? Very good. The 4th month of the year is April. And number 13, when we put it in a ordinal number, we would say April 13th. April 13th. Number 2, here we have 2 and 28. What is the 2nd month of the year? Very good. It is February. So February 28th. February 28th. And number 3, we have 6 and 17. What is the 6th month of the year? Very good. It is June. So the answer will be June 17th. And number 4, here we have 10 and 9. So what is the 10th month of the year? October 9th. And number 5, what is 7 and 4? What is the 7th month of the year? Which is July. July 4th. July 4th. So this is how we can talk about months and days. It's very important that we start with the month and then we use the day. So here, this is a group activity. I would like you to work in pairs, maybe with a family member or with a classmate, and to ask each other about the dates of important national days. So just think of any national day in Saudi Arabia or any occasion that we usually have here in Saudi Arabia, like Eids, for example, Eid al-Fitr, Eid al-Adha, and ask him a question that starts with, when is Eid al-Fitr? Or when is Eid al-Adha? And the answer should start with, it's on, and then he mentioned the date. For example, he must mention the month first and then the day. As we can see here, the answer should start with the month first and then the day. For example, when is Eid al-Fitr? It's on Shawwal the 1st. Shawwal the 1st. So this is how we can make question about a certain holiday or a national day, and then how we can answer it. So here in this table, as you can see, here we have the national day. I'm going to mention 2 national days, and then here we have the date. For example, Saudi National Day. We can continue the question by asking, when is the Saudi National Day? And the answer would be, it is on September 23rd. September 23rd. Another national day, which is Saudi Founding Day. So we can make question like, when is Saudi founding day? And the answer would be, it is on February 22nd. It is on February 22nd. So now, for the final exercise, I would like you to turn your books on page 13. I would like you to turn your books on page 13. So this is the final exercise we have, and it's a very simple one. Here we need to complete the conversations, and then we're going to practice it with a partner. And we need to continue it with the suitable verbs to be. So for example, here, here of course the question is about an age, because the answer says 15. So of course we're going to start our answers with, how old are John and George? And since we ask about two people, the answer would start with, they are 15. They are 15. And then, what about Sarah? And since Sarah is only one person, we would say, she is 16. She is 16. Let's move to the second conversation. So the first conversation talks about your names. So it's more than one person. And when you want to ask your name, what is the question word that we use? Very good. When we want to ask about name, the question we would use, or the question word, is what? What are your names? So she said, my name, and also after my name, we always use is. My name is Lisa, and she is Sandra. My name is Lisa, and she is Sandra. So, how old are you? Whenever we see you, we always use are with it. How old are you? And she said, we are 14. We are 14. So Lisa and Sandra, they are 14. Number 3. They are nice girls. What are their names? They are nice girls. What are their names? And here we use their as possessive adjectives for these girls. And the answer would be Bam and Vicky. And here the proper verb we use with they is are. They are in my English class. They are in my English class. So from this conversation we learned that we use are with you. You are, or with we. We are. And here with they. They are. And the final conversation, when is your final test? We said that if you want to ask about a specific day, we use the question word when. So, when is your final test? And with months, what did we say exactly, if you remember? What is the preposition we use when we're talking about months? Very good. The preposition we use is in March, in January, in February. So in is the type of preposition we use for months. And also, if you want to ask about date, what is the question word? The question word is what? What date? And here, March 11th. And he says, my final test. When we're talking about day, we would say, or we would use on the 11th too. So it's very important that we know the preposition in comes with months and on comes with days as well. Now, before you finish, don't forget to check on your workbook on page 193 for practice with grammar of the unit and vocabularies about dates and ages. And now we have reached the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.